Rishus, with the permission of friends old and new. Tonight we begin the second part of learning about the Mishnah, the sixth Mishnah in the first parak. Last night we learned about the parameters of Aseh L'Chorav. Tonight, let's delve into immediately Yeshua ben Prachlia's two other major statements that are foundations to this very day. Knei lecha chaver, acquire for yourself a friend, v'havidanis kol ha'odom lekavschus, and give every single person, give an entire individual the benefit of the doubt. I would like to attempt this evening to synthesize these two concepts, to place them on the same plane. And in order to do this, we're going to do and take a tour of all of Chamisha Chumshei Torah. Let's start the journey together. A famous old poet once said, "Come, be my friend. Grow old with me, and we shall all the wisdoms of the world prove." Knei lecha chaver, acquire for yourself a friend. V'havidanis kol ha'odom lekavschus, and give every person the complete benefit of the doubt. Give the entire individual, not one singular aspect or maisa of the individual, but rather a person should judge the person on their entirety. Acquire a friend. Knei lecha chaver. Now I mean just that. Simply, pashut, acquire a friend. Now, who are your friends? And are they really your friends? Who and what is a friend? What's a chaver? You know, it's perplexing, because the word chaver itself, friend, is not found anywhere in Chamisha Chumshei Torah. Now, there are words that mean togetherness, chibur, chibru, groupings or couplings that are found within Chamisha Chumshei Torah, but the actual word chaver denoting friendship, nope, nowhere in Chamisha Chumshei Torah. However, in the larger framework of Tanakh itself, chaver is known. For example, we find in Yechezkel, the Chol Beis Yisrael, Chaverav, talking about Yehuda and Yosef, that all of Beis Yisrael were their friends. We find another instance in Shir Hashirim, Hayosheves Baganim, a person who sits in the Garden of Eden, Chaverim, my friends, Makshivim Lekolech, listen to the voice. And yet we find in Koheles, in Yiplu Ha'echad, if your friend, if one falls, Yakim es Chaveru, his friends should stand him up, should lift him up, V'chulu, and so on, etc., etc. But a description and a definition of friendship, it still goes missing. Pirkei Avot, the corpus of Pirkei Avot, provides many examples and employs the word chaver, friend, to teach us to acquire one, to learn from one, to honor one. But really, who is a friend and what is a friend, I maintain, is still lacking. In Pirkei Avot, let's go down the line. Knei lecha chaver, like in our Mishnah. Eizehu yederech yisheira sheyidbak ha'adam chaver tov. Al todim chavercha shetagia lemkoimoi. Uchvod chavercha k'moy rabcha. Yehi mamon chavercha chaviv alecha kishalcha. Shechavercha yikamuhu biyadecha. Al tiratzes chavercha b'shas kasoy. Eino nichnas l'torach divrei chavero. Halomei mechavero tzorech l'nhot bo kavod. And the last time it's mentioned in Avos, b'dibuk chaverim nosei ol chavero. Interestingly enough, within Pirkei Avot, the word chaver, friendship, as we just went through the examples of all of Pirkei Avot, is mentioned 10 times. Perhaps acquiring a friend is synonymous with the Aseres HaDibros and therefore Kol HaTorah Kula. It's somebody who you could learn from and bounce ideas off. The Gemara, Shas, is replete with examples about chaverim, about friends. One famous example comes from the Gemara in Tainis. Amar Rabbi Chanina, many of you know this phrase. Amar Rabbi Chanina says, Harbe lamadati mei Rabboisai, I learned a lot from my Rabbeim. Aseh l'chorav. Umechaverai yoseh mei Rabboisai. But from my friends, I learned a lot more. Now, I'm still a little left wanting on the who is a friend. You see, chaver, like we mentioned, is omitted from the Torah. But there do exist other words for friendship in Chamisha Torah. Yedid. Yedid is a friend. And so too is the more commonly referred to word Rea, also meaning a friend. Now, you're also familiar when it comes to the word Rea, friend. When Moshe Rabbeinu chastises the Jews who struck their fellow Jew, he says, Lo mosake esreacha. I don't think that really means a friend right there. And then you're all really familiar with Rabbi Akiva's dictum, the Torah's axiom. V'ahavta l'rayecha kamocha. Love thy friend as thyself, or love thy neighbor as thyself. This is an axiom of the Torah. But mitzidi, from my perspective, lefi aniyas daiti, according to my humble opinion, I still maintain that even that klal gadol b'Torah fails the who test. So we need to look elsewhere. The Navi Shmuel informs us of friendship. Ule Amnon Rea, and Amnon, he had a friend. Ushmo Yonadav, and his name was Yonadav. V'Yonadav ish chacham ha'od, and Yonadav was a very wise man. On the spot, Mitzudas David is focused on the word Rea. That Yonadav was a friend of Amnon, or Amnon had a friend in Yonadav. And there, Mitzudas David interprets Rea as Chaver ve'ahuv. He was a friend and he was a lover, a beloved of Amnon, and vice versa. All other Mefarshim are not so kind to Yonadav. And render Rea, Reish Ayin, rather as Ra, evil and wicked. So what did Yonadav do? Yonadav purposely advised Amnon to lie down with Amnon's own sister. That's no friend. Who has friends? David HaMelech. He had friends. V'Achitofel yoetz lamelech. And Achitofel, his advisor, his Rebbe, he was an advisor to the king. V'Chushi ha'archi rea HaMelech. And Chushi, the Archi, was a friend of the king, according to Divrei HaYamim. Comes along the Navi and Shmuel on this Chushi ha'archi, and it says, Vayhi kasheba Chushi ha'archi rea David. And when Chushi the Archi, the friend of David, came to whom? To Avshalom, in which there was a schism in Klal Yisrael, and the two factions between Avshalom, David's son, and David himself were warring. And when he comes and he finally meets Avshalom, what does he say? Vayomer Chushi al Avshalom, and he says to Avshalom, Yechi HaMelech, Yechi HaMelech, long live the king, long live the king. With friends like these, who needs friends? As the Navi Zechariah put it, V'amar Elov, Mahamakos ha'ela bein yadecha. What are these wounds on your hands? V'amar, and that person will respond, Asher ukesi beis me'avoy. I was wounded in the house of my friends. Returning to the Chumash, we have an inkling of kinsmanship in the first recorded use of the word Rea as supposedly a friend, and it occurs by the Migdal Bavel, the Tower of Bavel. There, Vayomru ish al achiv, and one man said to the next, Hava nilvan alaveinim, let's go build some bricks, and we'll raise up a tower. And in response, Hashem says the following, Vayomer Hashem, and God said, Let us go and mix up their languages. So that one man will not be able to listen to the language of his friend. Those are not necessarily the best examples of what a friend is. Rebellion and sedition by the Tower of Babel, forged in the spirit of comradeship, a socialist experiment gone awry, does not connote friendship. But Daniel had friends. Edayin Daniel Leveisa Ozal Chananya Mishal ve'Azarya Chavroi. Daniel was charged to go home and to interpret the king's dreams when all of the other advisors had been executed, and there was a Damoclean sword held above the head of Daniel. And who are his friends? Hananiah, Mishael, ve'Azariah. In a moment of sakana, in a moment of danger, his three friends, gather around him. Eov had friends too. Vayishmu shlosh esrei Eov. And when Eov was sitting shiva, his friends sat by his side. Chanani, atem roi. You have consoled me, my friends, Eov says to them. In man's darkest hour, when all the world is lost, when he grieves for love's lost, a friend comforts. A friend stands by your side. A friend shares in the pain and empathizes with you, wishing you only goodness and happiness, and finds no jealousy in his heart. Chazal tell us, a person who prays on behalf of another and he's in need of the same, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will answer his tefillos first. Torah informs us of the following. Vayirbu hayomim, and the days passed, the days gathered in. Vatomos Bashua Ishas Yehuda, and Vatomos Bashua, and Bashua died, the wife of Yehuda. Vayal al Giz Eitzoinoi, and they went to the place where they were shearing the sheep. Who? Him, Yehuda, and who was he escorted by? V'chira re'eu ho'adulami, and his friend named Chira, the Adulamite. On this pasuk, the Medrash in the Yalkut Shimoni tells us the following: Rabbonon Nimri, our rabbis teach us, Chira hu Chiram, that Chira was actually Chiram, Shehoya b'mei David, the same guy that we're going to find many years later by David HaMelech. Ki ohev hoya Chiram leDavid kol hayamim, because Chiram loved David all the days of his life. Limud hoya oisa ish lios ohev l'shevet hazeh. He was a friend indeed, in dearness, all the days of his life to the Shevet of Yehuda, to the tribe of Judah. Al das Rabbonon, and therefore, Chaye Korav le'elef u'masayim shana. Chiram, this guy Chira, that Yehuda went up to the threshing floor where the sheep were being cropped and sheared, he lived for over 1,200 years. V'al das Rabbi Yehuda, but according to Rabbi Yehuda, he lived 800 years. Whether it's 1,200 or 800, it makes no difference. The fact is, this man stood by David for a very, very long time. How do we know this? How do we know Mamish that Hiram is the same guy? When Shlomo, the son of David ben Yishai, was being crowned, the Navi says, Vayishlach Hiram melech Tzur es avodav el Shlomo, and Hiram, the king of Tzur, sent his servants to Shlomo. Ki shama, because he heard. Hiram heard in his kingdom in Tzur. Ki also mashchul melech tachas avihu, because he was anointed king underneath his father. Ki ohev haya, because he loved this family. Chiram leDavid, Chiram loved the family of David, kol hayamim, all of his days. From Timnah, Please excuse the spam phone call. From Timnah, where the shear cropping and the threshing was taking place, where Yehuda and Chira went with his friend. Now comes to us the story, the checkered history and meeting of Yehuda and Tamar, from whom will be born all of Malcha Yisrael. Ve'ele told those parrots. And it ends, as you all know, the book of Ruth, as we will read on Shavuos. V'Yishai holid as David. And Yishai bore David. And one of the most famous friendship in the annals of all of our tradition, the friendship between David and Yonasan. Yonasan's love for David knew no bounds. He even resigned himself to abdicate his own inheritance of the crown of Klal Yisrael for his friend David. Yet Reah, friendship, Yedid, or even Chaver, any one of those words to describe friendship, Reah, Chaver, Yedid, is not mentioned in any portion of the tale between David and Yonasan. Nevertheless, Yonasan, loyalty, love, and sacrifice for David stands as the measuring rod against which all friendships throughout all time must be measured. Once again, in death, in man's darkest hour, in the grieving moment, we learn of friendship. There, at news of the fall of Shaul and Yonasan, during battle with the Plishtim, David cried out, Eich naflu giborim. How these giants have fallen. Tsar li alecha achi Yonasan. I am so pained about you, my brother Yonasan. Na'amtali me'od. Nifloasa vascha alai me'avas nashim. Wondrous it was to me, your friendship, your kinsmanship with me, like the love of women. Both the Targum, Unclus, and Radak comment that the phrase Ahavas Nashim, the love of women, connotes Tartin Nashim, two women. Maizedi Rav Yaakov Naiman, famed Talmud of the Brisker of Rabbi Yitzchok Zev Soloveitchik, asks, which two women are we talking about here? Who? Mitar Tinashin, from two women. So my Zaidi posits the following, and I'm going to extrapolate a little on his words. He posits that David HaMelech right here is referring to Rachel and Leah, sisters who each sacrificed for each other. According to the Gemara in Megillah, the following took place. Omra Rachel Yaakov. Rachel said to Yaakov, Yesh li acholis gedola mimeni. I have a sister that's older than me. V'avi lo yasi oisi lefanea. And my father will not allow me to get married before her. Mosar lo Yaakov simonim. Yaakov gave her signs and a code, shalo yachlifena beleah, in order that there would be no swapping with Leah. And when it reached the night of their betrothal, their wedding, Rachel said in her heart, Achshav, now, tizbayish achosi, my sister will be embarrassed. I can't allow my sister not to get married before me. I've got to do this, even though Yaakov Avinu is the love of my life. Holcha umasra la hasimanim. Rachel then went and gave over the codes and the signs. V'hainu dichsiv, just like it's written. V'hi baboker, and it was in the morning. V'hinei hi Leah, and it was Leah that was found in the bed. Mitoich simonim shemosra Rachel, because of the simonim, the codes and the signs that Rachel gave to her sister Leah. Lefichach, therefore, Zachsa Rachel merited. Vayetze mimena Shaul. Shaul would be from her progeny. But what of Leah? What did Leah do? Itar Tinashi, from the love of these two women. So the Medrash Tanchuma tells us, Leah petitioned God. The Amra, and she said, Ribono Shel, Master of the universe, 12 tribes are destined to emanate from Yaakov. I've already given birth to 6. And I'm already pregnant with the 7th. And in the hands of both of the maidservants, Bilhah and Zilpah, they each have already born to Yaakov 2 each, for a total of 4. Harei Asara. This, in totality, is really 10. If this that is within my womb will turn out to be male, Rachel will not be part of the matriarchs that are married to Yaakov, who are destined to bear the 12 tribes, the Shiftei Ka. Miyad Shama HaKadosh Baruch Hu Tfilasa. Immediately HaKadosh Baruch Hu heard her tfilas, her prayers, and immediately transposed the fetus within her womb from male to female. Vilama Karash Madina, and the birth, and Leah gave birth to a girl named Dinah. And the Medrash says, and why was her name Dinah? Because Leah stood in judgment before God, and Amala HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to her, At Rachmanis, you had compassion, you sacrificed yourself. Va'af ani merachim aleh. Therefore I too will have compassion on you. Why is this entire history important? From the friendship of Hiram and Yehuda, where they go to the threshing floor, is where Yehuda eventually meets Tamar. And from their relationship is born Peretz, eventually leading to the birth of whom? David HaMelech. From the love that David and Yehonasan expressed to each other, how each one was dan the other one l'kavschus in totality and in a belief and standing by their side in constancy. Who was the progenitor of Yehonasan? None other than Rachel. And who was the progenitor of David? Leah. Nifloasa avoscha alai mi'avas nashim. Wondrous it is to me, the love that we had together than the love of women. Knei lecha chaver, acquire for yourself a friend. V'havidanis kol ha'adam l'kavschus. Thank you for listening. Good night.